friends, Romans, the other one. We are back with some pitch black Reliquary. There we go. Not pitch black dungeon. Haven't recorded in a few days. A few reasons. First and foremost, we had a bit of a scare with one of our cats. We thought she might be pretty ill, but she's fine. So I haven't wanted to record for a few days. Had stuff on my mind, but false alarm, she's totally fine. So we're back with some, apparently, pitch black Reliquary. So what happened last time? Great question. That was like a week ago. We do have weapon maintenance. A recent inspection revealed that the blades have been badly miskept. This must be rectified immediately. So we have a significant bonus to our melee skills on the next quest. Pretty beefy accuracy and crit bonus. Love that. Melee is sort of weird, right? Like, in basically all games, it seems like melee sucks. Even games of wildly different genres. The best classes tend to be like ones with lots of utility and support, or like ranged damage, which is something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense in Darkest Dungeon, and yet I do find that the melee classes, like the pure melee classes in like vanilla Darkest Dungeon, often needed a little bit of caressing before they became worth using. Specifically the Leper, of course. Man-at-Arms, a great support class, but kind of lacking in terms of damage output, I find. Anyway, let's move on to figuring out what we're going to do. We are working towards this boss of the Catacombs, the Levantine Janissary. We could do it now, but that seems like a terrible idea, because we only have one level 3 guy. But we can get some more. Now, Agu is a little stressed out. Moyo, on the other hand, less stressed out, but has tetanus. That's pretty bad. She's much more likely to get crit, and she is much less likely to crit, presumably because all of her joints have seized up, because her muscles are permanently kind of stuck in the on position, and her bones are breaking, and she's going to asphyxiate soon. So we're lucky that it's just affected her crit chance, really. I'm gonna rename this guy. You are... Excuse me? You two. Because he's the second one. It's pretty funny. I could just get rid of him, to be fair. Okay, one thing at a time. We don't necessarily need to do the Catacombs. We could do the Caverns. We could do the Exposed Interior. We could even do the Treasury, which scares me a little bit. I've had some trouble with the Treasury in the not-too-distant past. I think it's a really cool idea for a dungeon. I think I need a little bit more practice with just how Black Reliquary works, like the language of Black Reliquary. I need to learn that a little bit more before I do that. So let's have a look at some trinkets. Some mark synergy here. I do want to do a short mission today because it's getting a little bit late now. It's 20 to 6. My wife's going to be home soon. We're going to have dinner, so I've only got like less than an hour to record, I would say. So we could do one of these short missions. 50% max HP is quite nice. It's not the most important thing. Coordinating Whistle seems quite strong. If you've got a damage bonus against marked targets anyway, then accuracy and crit kind of stack with that multiplicatively, which is lovely. What about in here? We have a short damage stone. It's a pretty boring but functional trinket. Survival Guide, always nice. I think I already have one. Punishment's Hood seems pretty okay. Doesn't scale too well. At least my understanding is that it doesn't scale too well. Because that 25% bleed skill chance and debuff and mark skill chance is going to be less impactful when the numbers are higher. It's additive. Whereas if you're getting crit in a high-level dungeon, you're getting crit for a lot more than you would be in a low-level dungeon. And same with the healing done. It's a percentage, it's multiplicative, rather than additive. So it may not scale well, but could be good early on. And I could just be wrong about that. Who knows? Chevalier's Seal seems pretty okay. I don't know if I want to do the Exposed Interior. It kind of kicked my ass last time, as I recall. Plus 8 dodge in hallways. Okay. I'm not confident that I love that as a mechanic, but we'll see. I think I might just want something nice and simple to get back into Black Reliquary. I'm nowhere near done with this yet. This is a fantastic mod. I wish I had been able to record more over the last few days, but it's just life stuff. So let's just take the coordinating whistle. Mark is a kind of synergy that I really overlooked in Darkest Dungeon, or like vanilla Darkest Dungeon. So we can try and make something work there. And our goal is going to be to get some level 3 heroes. So I'm actually going to take this Vestal, even though she's pretty stressed. I'm going to take a Grave Robber. And my brain is telling me to take classes that are good in the ruins in vanilla Darkest Dungeon, because it's the first area, it's the top area. That is not necessarily how this works. You don't necessarily want Blight particularly, and you don't necessarily not want Bleed, at least that's my understanding. So let's take Goddard. And yeah, you know what, let's just take a big, kind of beefy, don't have to think too hard about stuff party, which is just about dealing damage and soaking it up. With a Vestal in the party and a low level, I'm not sure we want Redeem. We could take Endure. Oh, that's interesting. So it heals 8 stress from someone else, but it stresses out the Flagellant. That's okay, we can use that to make sure our Vestal doesn't take a resolve check. And that's doubly true because you actually don't take the stress on the Flagellant if the target of your endurance is religious, which of course the should be, right? Like always religious? Oh, Vestals can spawn as faithless. This one just hasn't. That's interesting. Cannot spawn as pagan, but presumably can be faithless. That's cool. Okay. Anyway. So we'll take Endure. Suffer I've really, really liked. I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was a really nice ability. Exsanguinate and Punish, so we're really good at hitting the front line here with some bleed. How are we hitting the back line? Well, that means, I think, that we don't want Point Blank Shot. We don't even want Wicked Slice, or even Open Vein. I think we take Tracking Shot. Grape Shot Blast is kind of... Okay, fine. We'll take Open Vein because of the Bleed Resist debuff. That seems pretty good. For our Flagellant. We can take Pistol Shot, Grape Shot Blast, so we can pretty comfortably hit just about anything with the Highwayman. That's okay. Our Grave Robber is going to have to be pretty back rank focused. I haven't come across too much that uses stealth here. I'm not saying there isn't anything that uses stealth. I'm sure there is, but I haven't found anything. So let's try something different. Nope. Let's not. We're going to be keeping the light high. Let's keep Illumination. Judgment is cool for the expiation. Mace Splash and Hand of Light can't be used from rank 3, so that's kind of a wash. Oh, this is a Musketeer, not a Grave Robber. Yeah, of course. I could take a Grave Robber, though. I mean, come on. They look similar, right? Let's take a Grave Robber instead. I like the Musketeer. I like the Musketeer a lot, actually, and maybe for a strictly back rank kind of position, that might be better. But I think it's okay. Flashing Daggers has nice synergy with our Bleed skills and our Highwayman and Flagellant. Poison Darts is also quite strong, I think, although in shorter fights tends to be a bit less strong. I don't want Pick to the Face. I guess I have to take Lunge. No, let's take the Musketeer. Or we could go for a secret third option. An Arbalist? We've used the Musketeer quite a bit, is my main concern. And we've also used a Grave Robber once or twice here. I think we've only used an Arbalist one. I mean, it makes sense that would be the case because we are specifically looking at leveling up the same heroes to level 3. But let's take an Arbalist. After this, Goddard and Agu should be level 3. I would like to take Margaret, actually. Okay, I would like to take Margaret to make sure that she is level 3, because I really want to look at fighting a boss as soon as possible. That's one of the most interesting things to me. So let's do that. That's fine, let's do that. So we should, at the end of this, have, hopefully, 4 level 3 heroes, including Boudica. These guys are at the same. Resolve XP 5 out of 8. Is this mission only going to give me 2? It might only give me 2. Does it say what it's going to give me? I don't think it does. I don't think it does, you know? Okay. Alright. I'm aware this might be a little samey because we've used these classes before. But hopefully we'll fight a boss next time and that will be cool. Let's look at our ferry as well. I'm changing my mind again. I'm changing my mind left, right, and center. I'm going to drop the Musketeer because we have used her just so much. We've really, really used her a lot. I would like to take our Plague Doctor, but she is currently drinking, I think. She's doing something. So we could take, instead, a level 1. Let's just start leveling up a level 1 hero that we haven't used before, or haven't used very much. And I think we go for a Handmaster. Hang on, do we have a Handmaster already? We have a Handmaster. What other options were we offered? I liked the Dredge, but I need something a bit brain off at the moment. We could go Jester. Bounty Hunter isn't great in the back rank. Handmaster is good in the back rank, I think. Let's take a Handmaster. Right, okay. Sorted. And I think we like Cry Havoc. They've removed the random component of Cry Havoc, but reduced the flat stress healing. So it's about the same, it's just more consistent. We'll drop Lick Wounds and we'll take Guard Dog. Oh, 50% guard duration applied on Prep Rad, or additional 50%. Very cool. Like that. Sure, and we have some mark synergy as well with Pistol Shot. Cool. Alright, it's not much, but it's something. I wonder if they've buffed Grape Shot Blast. I mean, I never took Grape Shot Blast, because no one ever took Grape Shot Blast. It was generally considered quite weak. So, I don't know if they've buffed it or not. It's different, right? The debuff for crits received is pretty big. And it also debuffs for 13% protection. Oh, they have buffed it. That seems strong. Right, let's level up some skills. And let's... So Amber Workshop, alright. Bolbeck, you can go to the Amber Refinement. Margaret, you can go for the Tech Exchange. Yeah, we've used, I think, maybe 2 different Musketeers, which is why it seems like we've used them. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm talking out of my big old bumhole. So that's all we'll do for that, right. And Training Hall. Forge. Great. Okay, you're already upgraded. You can definitely have an upgrade for that. Can't upgrade you because you're only Resolve level 1. What skills am I using? Yeah, we can upgrade Endurance, I think, or just Endure, I think. That's quite good. It's quite a strong upgrade, I would say. We are taking Open Vein, so we'll definitely upgrade that. It's pretty cheap. Fine. Kind of tempted to upgrade Judgment while I'm here in case I forget, but I'm not gonna. We still have nearly 30,000 gold. Let's go explore the catacombs. But first, put some trinkets on. Just put some trinkets on. There's a lot of busy work in Darkest Dungeon in general. There's a lot of stuff to do in town. And that's okay, because town is a big part of the game. There's like, you've got the kind of tactical stuff like in combat, and then you've got the strategic stuff making long-term decisions. And it's great. And it's easy to overlook that, I think. Or at least it is if you are me and you don't have object permanence. Tenacity Ring, let's put that on the Houndmaster, because we're going to be using him to guard a little bit. Excuse me. We can put the Survival Guide on as well, I think. No, put the Charm of Order on. You are going to want the Shurgen's Pendant. And you are a little stressed out, and I don't necessarily want to spend a lot of turns stress healing you, so I think we might just use the Sun Crown? Oh, I don't know, man. That seems bad. It seems like it doesn't do anything most of the time. Right, okay. We have this. We have the Resolve Stone. We'll put that on Goddard, because that should guarantee that he reaches level 3. I think we get 2 Resolve XP from this, so this will boost it to 3 Resolve XP, which will take him to level 3. I think. I've been wrong before. And the Flagellant, yeah, can also have the Bloody Die. That seems very strong. Might also give one to my Highwayman. Charm of Primity? Primity? Sure. Whatever. Let's do it. It doesn't matter. There is an argument for taking an empty slot so that I can take an extra trinket home if I find one. It's not a weak argument, but I don't think it's a particularly strong one either. We have dog treats. We must remember to use the dog treats. No one ever remembers to use the dog treats. Come on, man. No point skimping on food. All supplies in general, 3 shovels, 2 antivenoms, 2 bandages, 1 cleansing salts, 2 skeleton keys. There is an argument for skimping on supplies, actually. The argument for skimping on supplies is that when I run out of supplies, I'll learn what I need to take more of. Whereas if I just end the dungeon with shitloads of supplies, I'll sort of hemorrhage gold week on week without really knowing what I need to bring less of. But that is a chance I am willing to take. We'll take 12 torches, 2 archaeology kits. I always seem to need one more than I think I do. And a disease kit. And let's just go, dude. Let's just freaking go. Levantine soldiers are organized and disciplined, taking advantage of tactical opportunities. Something the original Darkest Dungeon kind of sorely missed, I think, was the fact that the AI, such that it was pretty random what enemies would hit. They didn't really make tactical decisions very often.
Age-old workshops.
Oh, this is
establish a route through this area.
Okay, so this kind of plays itself a little bit. We have to go down here. Ancient armory, wicked weapons of a forgotten era. Archaeology kit seems right. Okay. It's a trinket. Oh. Oh. It sucks. Alright, so if you want your Vestal to be really good at stunning and bad at not taking damage, that's pretty good. Whoa, hang on. Okay. So it doesn't suck. The 6 speed is good. It's not as good as it used to be. I think it's easy to look at it and say it sucks because it just makes your Vestal better at stunning and makes her worse at dodge. And that's very easy to focus on that, but the flat plus 6 speed is okay. It's not amazing. Particularly on a healer, if things are going well, you often want to be acting after other members of the party.
Enemies will attempt to impede us.
But whether something is good, in the best case scenario is not as important as whether it is good in the average scenario or the worst case scenario. I think we need to come to this room, but not the one after it. Some abandoned Levantine equipment. This is modern stuff, no need to use an archaeology kit. It's empty, okay. Don't know if there is anything I could have used there. Alright, the mendicant friar, I believe, needs to die. I remember the prep brand! I've remembered the prep brand. Let's take Grape Shot Blast. This seems really good. There is some protection here as well, so Grape Shot Blast should hopefully have a chance to really, really carve these guys up. And it does. That's fantastic. We can mark something, or we can guard. I don't see a reason to guard, really. I mean, we have some defensive trinkets. That's not a huge reason. It's tempting to Hound's Harry, but we've got a pretty low hit chance. I think we target whistle and mark the back line. What's this? Oh, okay, yes. Our town event. You have cleansed a debuff and buffed yourself. Well, frick you, if you'll excuse my language. The joke is that I censored myself. Oh, alright. It's fine. You had to be there. My flagellant has been condemned, which gives him less dodge and protection. I don't think he had much dodge or protection. A little love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong. Doesn't look like it. So let's just stun maybe you. It seems like you are probably very good at dealing damage. And you've cleansed your own debuff, which pissed me off. Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, okay, it did have a 10% stun resist. Alright. You got me. Doesn't matter though, does it? Is the thing. Stress healing is going to be important, but not as important at the moment, I think. Maybe when a couple of things are dead, we'll start stress healing. We didn't take Cry Havoc. Maybe I should have taken Cry Havoc. Over what, though? Target Whistle? Maybe. Maybe Cry Havoc over Target Whistle. And then we have Guard Dog as our prep brand ability. Or Cry Havoc. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. This corpse is still marked. Is that in the original game? We just don't know. Alright. Do I want to mark... Well, it'll be this, right? Yeah, I do. For the prop reduction. And we can stun this as well. Maybe?
We follow the
Okay.
ever-guiding light.
We did. Not so bad. This is gonna... Sweeping blockade. Knock me back, maybe? Nope. Just hits me. Oh, it moved him back. Alright. That seems like completely fine. That does not trouble me in the slightest. Yeah, I mean, we did that so we could Hound's Rush, right? Yep. It's now at 15, it's bleeding for 12, so I think we Grape Shot Blast. Lovely. Front line is dead. And we've done some damage to the third row as well. Excuse me? Oh, it has regen. Yep, that's on me. Should have noticed that. Do we want to heal? It's going to be at 3. I will
We
heal.
must care for one another.
Excise the Menace. That just hits me. I'm just used to everything doing 2 things. So I think the regen applies first and then the bleed. So functionally it's at 3, so this should kill it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It just kills it. Alright. That's pretty okay. Alright.
Them down.
Could have done some stress healing, but I think maybe better to just go for it.
Another skirmish, another step forward.
And the reason for that is that Darkest Dungeon was kind of infamous for allowing you to stall at the end of fights. As long as you had like 2 weak guys alive and some sort of baseline stress healing or regular healing abilities, you could pretty much just completely full heal your party. And it was pretty easy to set that up most of the time, especially if you had loads of stuns. And it's like, I got to choose my words carefully here, because if I'm wrong, it's going to seem insulting, but these guys are clearly good enough to have changed that, if that's something they want to do. Like, I'm certain it's something they would have considered, making that more difficult or impossible in this, and I don't want to fall into that trap, basically. Let's have you open this. Only dust.
Take up the spades. This is nothing to trouble ourselves over.
I don't know if we want to camp here.
The darkness
What's
will
this?
not impede
Electrum
us.
scraps.
We are the flame.
We are the flame. A heap of wrecked quartz technology. Oh, a bandage gives us stuff. We've used that before. So does an archaeology kit, but we've only got 1 archaeology kit, and they are more expensive. 8 matach. Lovely. Not going to camp just yet, although I am concerned about my Vestal stress. Scouting? Catacombs Explorer. Okay. Cool. Saying I have +4 dodge and +2 speed for 2 battles. Is that correct? Oh no, that's the buff that it gives you when you interact with traps or obstacles in the catacombs. So we want to be using this guy to disarm traps. I think I mentioned before that this gives us another axis to consider when we're thinking about who's going to disarm stuff. Because we have to consider the likelihood of them succeeding, their stress level, whether we want them to get the stress debuff, their current health, whether they might be at risk of dying, and now as well whether we want a buff on someone else that might make them a better choice. That's cool. I think we want to camp soon though. We are pretty near the end of this dungeon. Okay. What did we use here before? Disease kit maybe? We didn't use that before, but we used the anti-venom and the torch before and they didn't do anything. Don't want to use my last shovel. I could try a bandage. Okay. When in doubt, it's always a bandage. So this is a consumable, I think. Just like the dog treats. The amber-infused nectar in these lilies fills the air with an invigorating scent. Passively buffs party. Oh, yes, so it's not a consumable. We found something like this before, somewhere. Can't remember. It was like a week ago in real time. So while this is in our inventory, it's a low-value piece of loot, but while it's in our inventory, we get more accuracy, crit, and debuff and mark resist, which is pretty good. Quite happy with that. And I think we camp here. Give me a secret room, you small bitch. Alright, let's camp.
Recover.
We'll feast for the
Prepare.
stress. 100%.
Come dawn, we march.
Alright. So we are using mostly range skills. I think it's fair to say. I think clean guns is very strong. We do want some way to prevent the nighttime ambush if POS. Scouting chance also very strong. Okay. We'll release the Hound. That's like strictly worse than release the Hound, which is fine. Oh, is that because it's like a baseline one that's available to everyone? No, it's not. Alright. That's cool. It's just something flagellants are worse at than Houndmasters. I respect that a lot. That's bold design. Just to have one class's ability be a strictly worse version of someone else's. It's bold design, but I really, really like it. Not everyone does, I know, but I do. So I'm gonna give my own opinion. Let's clean guns, and then we can just focus a bit on stress healing. Our Vestal. Possibly? Maybe? Okay. We can't, apparently. Who is religious here? Our Houndmaster is religious. I've got to say, I'm not currently the biggest fan of this affiliations mechanic. If I can speak freely for a second. Because it's something that doesn't really come into play too often. It's just kind of another thing to keep track of. Which is fine. It's not a big deal. But for me personally, I'm not sure it adds very much. But maybe it'll come more into play later on.
Against the light, our foes will fall.
And maybe I'm just wrong, and maybe it actually does affect more than I think it does. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. We would love a little bit of stress relief on our Vestal. 70% trap disarm. You know, got about a 2/3 chance of getting that stress relief. Houndmaster 90% and could also benefit from some stress relief. But my Houndmaster's gonna get a bunch of buffs. They're not great though, are they? 4 dodge and 2 speed, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually worth it. But it's something to consider. It's not like a straight up done deal that it has to be one of these two. The only one we know it isn't is the Flagellant. Let's go for the Houndmaster. Cool.
We must keep eyes peeled.
I fucking did, bro. My eye. You have not seen eyes as peeled as mine. Maybe you need to keep your eyes peeled for how peeled my fucking eyes are. That was nothing. Alright, more scouting. We've already scouted it. Great. You know it's a great game because I'm getting angry with the flavor text calling me an idiot. If it was a bad game, I wouldn't give a shit. Levantine Defector offers riches in exchange for supplies. So last time, we offered this guy, or a guy very like him, a torch. And he was like, dude, is that all you got? What if we give him something more important? What if we could give him matach? It's not strictly supplies, but we could try it. Okay, didn't like it. That's fine. Worth a try. Let's try an archaeology kit, a slightly higher value supply item. This'll help with those traps. Will it? That's interesting. And they gave me 2,600 gold for it. Gold stacks to 2,000. Feel like I should have spotted that earlier. But here we are.
Where danger lurks, so too do riches.
Alright. Let's try it out. We got into a very, very tricky fight as soon as we dumped the torch last time. So, let's try this time. This time we will use the Houndmaster, the Highwayman. Let's see if that was a fluke or if we're just gonna get fucked. Okay, obviously no scouting. The torch is 0. What are you? Kvarat Tota? Excuse me? Kvarat Mechrab? Kvarat Apir? Okay, we're buffing. More damage, speed, and dodge. Something tells me this guy needs to die immediately. 20% protection. We can whittle that down. Okay, good. Malignant incense. I'll just have like vanilla or butterscotch if that's alright. We want to mark this, I think, like 100% for sure we want to mark this. Cripples its protection and dodge. And we'll use suffer here. Yeah, so these guys are like creatures of the night, right? Like your torch can't go higher than 50 against these guys, which is a cool mechanic. If you go into these with the torch low, the torch is staying low, which is lovely. We could stun this. Got like a 50% chance to stun it. Got a higher chance to stun this. I'm not sure what it does. It looks like it just stresses us out. So let's stun this guy who actually scares me, or we could not do that. More stress. Yeah, the stress is pretty bad. It seems alright. That doesn't seem like an issue. Yeah, we want to just kill the shit out of this, I think. Oh, we can't use Exsanguinate because we're at high health. That makes sense. These guys can't bleed, right? Yeah, they're made of stone, so that makes a lot of sense. Pistol shot. Can't hit it with pistol shots. Open vein also sucks here. It's not great. We can pistol shot something else, though. I guess this. It's got a pretty good chance of killing it. Okay. What even are you, man? I cannot make that out at all. Hound's Rush should do some damage. It's marked. It's not going to bleed. Yeah, with a bleed-heavy party, and knowing that Kvarot's a stonework and can't bleed, maybe the torch being low, it's just a bad time for the torch to be low.
Weakened.
But these guys do drop better loot. That's like the whole conceit of this, right? Yeah. Like, you don't just get more loot randomly in the dark, you fight different, harder enemies in the dark who just happen to give you more loot. That's such a great mechanic. And it makes the original game look kind of slow for not doing that, right? It makes Darkest Dungeon look dated mechanically, which is impressive, I would say. Because Darkest Dungeon is great mechanically. It's not perfect, but it's really, really good. But this is running rings around it at the moment. So we can Hound's Rush. Doesn't do a huge amount. We can target Whistle. Just mark this. Lower the protection. Even just lowering the protection is fine there. And we will try and kill this. Lovely. Okay. This fight has been okay, actually. It's not been too bad at all. Necrotic Hack. Oh, when you think your local lich is overrated. Lovely. Yes,
There is much to do.
it's not the best party for it, but we were able to deal with it fairly handily, and we were rewarded as fuck, dude. We want to take just the Matak here, I think. We'll drop the bandage. Yeah, I mean, they've buffed the values of these gems, but it's not huge, I would say. What we will do is pop that back on, put the torch back,
March on.
and then, oh, for fuck's sake, every time. And you know what? It ain't just me. It ain't just me. Everyone forgets the dog treats. Every single person in the world forgets the dog treats, except people who are genuinely very good at the game, and then they don't need the dog treats in the first place, so the whole mechanic should just go in the bin. We might get a scout here. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, that's fine too. Let's go.
More Kvarot's relics kept out of Levantine hands. Excellent.
12,000 gold. Bunch of Matak. Not really sure. Having a brain moment and can't remember what that does. We've got a coordinating whistle. Okay, we still only have 2 level 3s, which is a shame. Yeah, 2 resolve XP apiece. Flawed release, not a problem. Considerate offers positive reinforcement. On ally attack miss, buff ally minus 15% stress received, 20% chance. That's so cool. Leper finally viable. It too is assuaging. Plus 20% stress healing done. Doesn't do too much for him, unfortunately, but, you know, it's a nice thing to have. It's a nice thing to know exists. Mercurial, don't love it.
Rest deeply here. We must be at our finest to succeed.
Peveril feels deadly after a series of wins. Peveril also happens to be the name of a district in the city I grew up in, so it's weird saying that because I haven't been to Peveril in like 10 years. Peveril brawled in the pit and recovered 60 stress. Amber Workshop. Margaret gained 7 last tech while trading with the Rot Herring Co. It hit me like 2 days ago that just means red herring. I don't know how relevant that is. Okay, sure. Nothing too special has happened in our absence. Like I say, a bit of a shorter one today, but we will be back to doing this regularly because I am fucking loving this mod. I know I say it all the time, gushing about Pitch Black Reliquary, a mod I can't remember the name of half the time, but yeah, so good. Yeah, that'll do it for today, and see you next time.